Good afternoon. I'm Pastor Tim Cartwright. I'm the pastor here at Emmanuel Lutheran Church, located at 2448 Emmanuel Church Road. Once again, it's always a funny thing to be able to find the Immanuel Lutherans. We're located on the Emmanuel Church Road. Come and see us on any Sunday morning at 10 a.m. We worship a God that loves us unconditionally. We try to work toward being a congregation that's sensitive to the needs of the community, and also a congregation that focuses on the great news of the gospel. We're not a large congregation, don't need to be. We're a congregation that knows a very large God, large in mercy, large in His grace, large in forgiveness. We'd like to have you become a part of that great good news. I have a couple thoughts today on Old Testament passage from the prophet Nahum, chapter 1, verse 15. I've entitled this Graceline, and every single week I provide a midweek touch point, just a simple scripture passage connected with a simple set of thoughts that might help you or prompt you to a midweek break, a chance to reconnect with not only your own faith, but folks that are looking in on this particular YouTube channel, a small electronic church, so be it. From Nahum chapter 1 verse 15, and I always love the small minor prophets, what they're called in the Old Testament. It's as if a man works for his whole life and one small, very short homily, very short sermon is recorded and is representative of his life work. Sometimes that's how life feels. We work forever and only have just a couple of things that mark that we've been here. Well, that's okay. Look at what Nahum has in reminder of who he is. Nahum says, "Look, there on the mountains, the feet of one who brings good news and proclaims peace." In the movie Shawshank Redemption, Andy Dufresne is one of the lead characters in the movie. That's his movie name. It's played by Tim Robbins, Andy Dufresne. Andy is preparing to escape from prison, Shawshank prison. Over time, as he was doing his time, he slyly pilfered the warden's wardrobe. A new suit, a new shirt, a new tie. Due to an inability to hide the warden's shoes, Andy simply wore his shoes as he made his way back to his cell from his prison work duty site, which happened to be there in the warden's office. Andy's best prison friend has a voiceover part. How many times does one look at a man's shoes? That's portrayed in the movie by a man named Red, who is Morgan Freeman. That night, when Andy wore those shoes, the shoes of the warden, he escaped from prison, thereby ending a wrong imprisonment that had resulted in a life imprisonment for something that he had not done. Andy stepped free in the warden's own shoes. When I was doing my internship called the Vicarage, associated with my seminary training, my supervising pastor in St. Louis took me to the side, and actually this particular part of my seminary training was called field work. He had spotted my inexpensive yet spit-shine shoes. I always shine my discount shoes. He told me that I should regularly, and this is whenever I was a young man, invest in good shoes, mentioning that the clergy are always on their feet, standing in the pulpit, at the altar administering the sacraments, standing sentry-like in hospitals, next to hospital beds, next to the dying, standing next to graves, greeting folks at the door of every worship service, making presentations, teaching Bible class, always standing. He told me that if I failed to take care of my feet, I would not be able to take care of my calling. That day, Pastor Paul and I discussed feet, a peculiar, holy discussion that podiatrists would have had. He was being, at that time, fatherly and sage-like, departing wisdom and advice. And then the strange conversation that we had that day in 1982 shifted, morphed. We ended up talking about the sandaled, dusty feet of Jesus. We talked about his walking to find the lost, his walking to find the forgotten. We talked about Jesus' bare, pierced feet as he hung upon Calvary's cross, about those peace-proclaiming feet stepping free from the grave. Nahum in chapter 1 verse 15 says, "Look, there on the mountains, the feet of the one who brings good news, who proclaims peace." Jesus was upon Calvary, that mountain, as he proclaimed peace between us and God because of his sacrificial life, because he loved us to pay the price for our wrongdoing. I went to purchase a pair of shoes over the years from time to time. I often visited discount stores during the summer, and my shoes weren't getting my job done as I approached fall one year. I had plotted months of everyday use from that particular pair of old loafers that I was wearing when I entered that shoe store. I stopped in at the local outlet aware that there was a sale on decent shoes and purchased a pair for 1/3 of the price of the original expensive shoes. A good pair of leather, nice-looking, casual dress shoes. I would bring the good news now in good shoes. I decided to wear that brand new pair of shoes right out of the store. I crammed my old, ripped up, holes in the bottom shoes into that new shoe box. And I took that box with those old shoes in it right to the checkout counter. Without even thinking, I handed the box to the young woman who was the clerk that day. She didn't know that I was wearing the new shoes. She just opened that aromatic box, stared, and then winced. She looked at me, glanced at my feet, and put two and two together. I told her I no longer had use for the worn shoes. She could discard them if she wanted. And without touching the shoes, she carefully dumped the shoes in that box into a large waste container behind the counter. She treated my shoes as if they were rotting highway roadkill, or a disposable diaper, or nuclear waste. She told me it came with the territory, simply part of her job. We both laughed. Isn't it interesting that Jesus takes our tired, broken selves and gives to us a new self? He does that because of his unending love for us. Come to church any Sunday in whatever shoes you're wearing. Come knowing that Jesus proclaims good news, peace. His feet tread those dusty paths for us. He gave his life, and he stepped free from the grave with those sandaled feet of his. Come and join us here at Emmanuel any Sunday that you would like to join us. We worship again at 10 a.m. and be mindful that Easter is coming soon. We worship at 10 a.m. on Easter morning, and also on April 16th we're going to have a neighborhood barbecue for all of our neighbors, free. Come and enjoy that barbecue at 1 p.m. Saturday, April 16th. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks. The benediction. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and to be gracious unto you. The Lord lift upon you his countenance, his presence, and give you his peace. God bless you. See you Sunday.